In the spring of 1945, as the Third Reich crumbled under the relentless advance of Allied forces from both east and west, Germany's military planners were grasping at straws. Cities were in ruins, railways and ports destroyed, and fuel shortages had crippled many operations. Yet, amid this chaos, the Kriegsmarine, the German Navy, still clung to a final hope: the advanced Type XXI submarine, an innovation that represented both desperation and brilliance. Among these vessels, U-3523 would become a legend, not because of its triumphs, but because of the mystery surrounding its disappearance and eventual rediscovery more than 7 decades later. Commissioned in the early months of 1945, U-3523 was a Type XXI, Elektroboot, a revolutionary class of submarine designed to dominate underwater warfare. Unlike earlier U-boats, which were forced to surface frequently and were vulnerable to Allied air patrols, the Type XXI could remain submerged for days at a time. Its streamlined hull, advanced battery systems, and silent electric motors allowed it to glide beneath the waves at speeds faster than most surface ships, rendering it almost invisible to conventional sonar of the era. With rapid reload torpedo tubes and sophisticated navigational equipment, U-3523 embodied a terrifying combination of stealth, firepower, and technological ingenuity. The crew of U-3523 consisted of 57 men, each meticulously selected for their expertise, experience, and loyalty. At the helm was Captain Hans-Jürgen Aufermann, a methodical officer renowned for his calm under pressure and his ability to execute complex operations with precision. His second-in-command, Klaus Richter, was a brilliant navigator who had earned a reputation for calculating submerged courses with astonishing accuracy. Engineers, weapons specialists, radio operators, and technicians rounded out the crew, all trained rigorously on the new systems of the Type XXI. Life aboard the submarine was grueling: cramped quarters, long hours, and the constant threat of Allied attack tested both endurance and morale. Despite this, the men were motivated by duty, survival, and the fear of what failure could bring in the chaotic final months of the war. The exact mission of U-3523 remains a subject of historical debate. Some scholars suggest it may have been tasked with transporting critical personnel or intelligence, while others propose it carried valuable technological components or even gold and art intended to preserve Nazi assets as the regime collapsed. Whatever the mission, secrecy was paramount. The submarine departed on its journey without fanfare, leaving behind only fragmentary records, and from that moment, history lost track of it entirely. For decades, U-3523 remained one of the great mysteries of World War II. Unlike other U-boats that were sunk in combat and left wreckage or survivors, this submarine vanished completely. There were no distress signals, no sightings, no record of battle engagement. Its disappearance spawned speculation and legends among historians and enthusiasts. Some suggested it had been destroyed by Allied depth charges during late-war skirmishes, while others believed it sank due to a catastrophic mechanical failure. More fantastical theories spoke of secret treasures aboard, gold, documents, and advanced technology, lying undiscovered on the seabed for decades, waiting for modern explorers to uncover them. The technological sophistication of the Type XXI made U-3523 particularly formidable. Its hull was designed with a hydrodynamic shape to reduce drag and noise, allowing it to move silently and swiftly underwater. Electric motors allowed for near-constant submerged operation, avoiding the dangerous surfacing that had doomed so many earlier submarines. Torpedo tubes were redesigned to allow rapid reloading, and the vessel carried advanced sonar and navigation systems. Combined with rigorous crew training, the Type XXI could perform operations that would have been impossible for earlier submarines, giving it the potential to change the course of naval engagements. Life aboard U-3523 was harsh and psychologically taxing. The submarine was small and cramped, with barely enough room for the 57 men to move. Food supplies were limited, and often monotonous, consisting mainly of preserved rations. The crew endured long periods in darkness, relying entirely on instruments for navigation and maintaining constant vigilance for enemy detection. The psychological strain of remaining submerged for days, combined with the awareness of the war's chaotic and deadly endgame, created a tension that weighed heavily on every member aboard. Conversations were often hushed, and moments of personal reflection were brief but intense, as the men contemplated both duty and survival. The submarine's departure marked the beginning of a journey into the unknown. As U-3523 slipped beneath the waves, it carried not only its crew but also the last vestiges of Germany's strategic hopes in the Baltic Sea. The waters of the Baltic had witnessed countless naval operations over the decades, but the path that U-3523 took remained uncharted for the Allies and historians alike. Radar and sonar detection were limited in these waters, and the submarine's advanced capabilities allowed it to move largely undetected. Its mission, shrouded in secrecy, became an enigma that would persist for decades. As the weeks and months passed with no word from the submarine, German naval records became increasingly fragmented. The chaotic collapse of the Reich, combined with the destruction of many administrative documents, ensured that little official evidence remained regarding U-3523's mission or fate. Allied intelligence, meanwhile, had no concrete leads. In the fog of war, the submarine was simply gone, a phantom beneath the waves. Despite its disappearance, the story of U-3523 continued to capture imaginations. Scholars analyzed the broader Type XXI program to understand the potential of the vessel, while enthusiasts speculated on the fate of its crew and mission. Rumors of hidden treasures and secret cargo persisted, feeding decades of fascination. U-3523 became a symbol of both technological ambition and the enduring mysteries of wartime Germany, a reminder that even in an era of meticulous documentation and intelligence, some events could vanish entirely from the historical record. The final months of the war, which coincided with U-3523's mission, were marked by desperation and ingenuity across Germany's military forces. The Allies' rapid advances forced the Kriegsmarine to attempt operations under extreme pressure, often relying on the most advanced technology available to maintain any semblance of strategic leverage. The Type XXI submarines were a last hope to disrupt Allied supply lines, transport vital assets, or even provide a platform for intelligence operations. U-3523, as one of the last commissioned vessels of its class, embodied the intersection of desperation, innovation, and the unknown. For months, the fate of U-3523 remained a complete mystery. Allied intelligence had no reports of its engagement, and no trace of the vessel appeared on sonar or in reconnaissance missions. The submarine seemed to vanish entirely, as though swallowed by the sea itself. Historians would later analyze the waters of the Baltic and the routes U-boats typically followed, but the advanced stealth capabilities of the Type XXI, combined with wartime chaos, rendered its path virtually impossible to reconstruct. The crew aboard U-3523 faced isolation unlike any other. Days turned into nights in a vessel devoid of natural light. The constant hum of machinery and the occasional rattle of equipment were their only companions. Every man understood that one mistake could mean catastrophe, and yet the monotony of submerged life tested their endurance as severely as the dangers of enemy attack. Captain Hans-Jürgen Aufermann implemented strict routines to maintain discipline, including rotational watches, equipment checks, and drills designed to simulate attacks. These routines were essential for survival, yet the psychological toll was immense. Submarine warfare in the late stages of World War II demanded not only technical skill but also creativity. The Type XXI, with its capacity for sustained submerged travel, allowed the crew to experiment with new tactics. Radio operators transmitted encoded signals sparingly, avoiding detection. Engineers meticulously monitored battery levels and electric motor output to maximize silent propulsion. Every decision, from navigation to speed, had to balance operational objectives with the risk of discovery. The crew knew that Allied aircraft equipped with radar could strike with devastating efficiency, and the margin for error was vanishingly small. The mission of U-3523, whatever it may have been, required extreme secrecy. Some historians believe that the vessel may have been tasked with extracting high-ranking officials or transporting intelligence critical to the German war effort. Others theorize that experimental weapons or advanced technology were on board, meant to evade capture as the Allies closed in. The truth remains obscured, but the meticulous construction of the submarine suggests it was intended for a mission of exceptional importance. As the weeks wore on, the submarine's presence became almost mythical. Reports from other U-boat crews indicated that several Type XXI vessels had faced severe challenges, from mechanical malfunctions to Allied interception. U-3523's disappearance, however, was unique. There was no wreckage, no survivors, and no evidence of enemy engagement. This absence fueled speculation both during and after the war. German records were incomplete due to the collapse of administrative centers, and Allied intelligence files contained only fragmented notes of missing vessels. Over time, U-3523 became one of the great unsolved mysteries of the Kriegsmarine. In the decades following the war, the fascination with U-3523 grew. Researchers studied the Type XXI class extensively, understanding that it represented a revolution in submarine design. The advanced hull allowed for unprecedented underwater speed and agility. Battery systems provided extended submerged endurance, a key factor in avoiding surface detection. Torpedo systems were engineered for rapid deployment, while sonar and navigational instruments enabled operations in conditions that would have grounded earlier U-boats. Yet, despite this wealth of technological insight, the vessel itself remained lost, an uncharted grave beneath the waves. The human story continued to captivate historians. Life aboard such a vessel was not only a test of skill but of endurance and morale. Crew members faced intense psychological pressure, compounded by the knowledge that their country was collapsing. Confinement in the submarine created an environment where minor disagreements could escalate, where fear and tension coexisted with determination. Captain Aufferman and his officers implemented strict hierarchies and routines to maintain order, yet the stress of prolonged submersion and isolation inevitably weighed on every man aboard. For modern researchers, understanding U-3523 involves piecing together fragments from multiple sources. Surviving Type XXI vessels, operational manuals, crew testimonies, and Allied intelligence reports all contribute to reconstructing the vessel's potential path and mission. Yet the lack of concrete evidence regarding U-3523 itself ensures that its story retains an air of mystery. The combination of technological innovation, human resilience, and strategic secrecy makes it a compelling case study in both naval engineering and wartime psychology. The breakthrough came in 2018. Using high-resolution sonar and remotely operated vehicles, a team of international underwater archaeologists identified a wreck deep in the Baltic Sea, lying approximately 400 feet below the surface. The discovery was meticulously documented, the hull was largely intact, a remarkable testament to the construction of the Type XXI, and its features allowed positive identification as U-3523. For the first time, the submarine that had vanished for over 70 years was located, offering tangible proof of its existence and fate. Examination of the wreck revealed fascinating details. The submarine appeared to have descended to the ocean floor without violent damage, suggesting a deliberate scuttling to prevent capture. Inside, divers and remotely operated vehicles documented crew quarters, control panels, and torpedo bays, preserving the last moments of a vessel frozen in time. Personal artifacts, coffee mugs, logbooks, clothing items, provided a poignant connection to the lives of the men who served aboard. Every object was a reminder that beneath the steel and technology lay human experience, stress, fear, camaraderie, and determination. The discovery also reinvigorated interest in the Type XXI program. Researchers could finally study the submarine firsthand, confirming previous reports of its hydrodynamic hull, silent running motors, and advanced battery systems. The Type XXI represented a leap in submarine design, influencing post-war naval engineering in both the United States and the Soviet Union. U-3523, as one of the last completed vessels of this class, became a key reference point for understanding the technological ambitions of late-war Germany. Yet the most compelling element remained the mystery. The exact purpose of U-3523's mission was still unknown. Was it transporting high-value personnel, secret technology, or financial assets? Did the crew scuttle the vessel intentionally, and did any survive long enough to witness its final resting place? While speculation continues, the submarine's discovery provides a rare opportunity to investigate questions that had lingered for decades, blending historical research, archaeology, and modern technology into a unified effort to understand the past. Public fascination with U-3523 surged following the announcement of its discovery. Documentaries, news reports, and history forums highlighted the vessel as a symbol of lost histories rediscovered. Enthusiasts debated its potential cargo and the final actions of its crew, while scholars emphasized careful study to preserve both the physical integrity of the wreck and the historical truth. U-3523 became not just a relic, but a narrative thread connecting generations, a vessel whose silent decades beneath the waves finally gave voice to its story. The story also humanizes the men who served aboard. Life on a Type XXI submarine demanded exceptional courage. Days were spent in confined spaces, often in darkness, with limited supplies and minimal ventilation. The constant awareness of enemy patrols, depth charges, and mechanical failures created a tension that defined daily life. Crew members relied on strict routines, camaraderie, and discipline to maintain both operational effectiveness and mental stability. The discovery of the wreck allows modern observers to appreciate the extreme conditions these sailors endured, providing a human dimension to the technological marvel of U-3523. As researchers documented the wreck, every feature told a story. Panels, instrumentation, torpedo bays, and personal items combined to create a vivid picture of the final mission. Analysts noted the meticulous construction and layout, designed for maximum efficiency and stealth. The silent motors, enhanced batteries, and rapid reload torpedo systems exemplified the ingenuity of German engineers even in the final months of the war. U-3523's re-emergence thus offered both a historical and technical window into an era of desperation, innovation, and mystery. The discovery of U-3523 in 2018 marked the end of decades-long speculation, yet it also opened a new chapter of questions and revelations. The wreck rested on the seabed in remarkable condition, a silent monument to a vessel lost for over 70 years. Its hull, nearly intact despite the passage of time, allowed researchers to examine the advanced design features that had once promised to turn the tide of naval warfare. The Type XXI submarine's hydrodynamic contours, battery compartments, and torpedo systems were preserved in unprecedented detail, offering modern historians and engineers a unique glimpse into one of the most sophisticated submarines of World War II. Inside the wreck, divers documented an environment frozen in time. Crew quarters showed signs of hurried abandonment, yet there was no indication of panic or violent struggle. Personal items, a coffee mug with faint lipstick marks, a handwritten logbook, a worn leather notebook, spoke of the human stories behind the mission. These artifacts were more than relics, they were tangible connections to the 57 men who had faced claustrophobic confinement, operational stress, and the constant threat of enemy detection. The meticulous placement of equipment and personal items suggested that the crew had maintained discipline until the very end, executing a final act of professional duty even in the face of uncertainty. Analysis of the wreck indicated that U-3523 had been deliberately scuttled, likely to prevent its capture by the advancing Allies. The submarine had descended to the seabed without catastrophic damage, confirming theories that it was not destroyed by attack or mechanical failure. Researchers proposed that the crew may have activated controlled flooding mechanisms, allowing the vessel to settle on the ocean floor safely. This act of scuttling ensured that the secrets and cargo of the submarine, whether intelligence documents, advanced technology, or valuable assets, remained hidden for decades, maintaining the final secrecy of its mission. The Type XXI's technology had been revolutionary for its time. Silent electric motors allowed it to move undetected beneath the waves, while enhanced battery capacity enabled prolonged submerged operations. Its rapid reload torpedo tubes and sophisticated sonar systems provided strategic advantages unmatched by Allied vessels during late-war engagements. The design principles of U-3523 would later influence post-war submarine development in both the United States and the Soviet Union, highlighting how innovation often transcends the outcomes of war. Yet the real intrigue lay not only in the technology but in the human decision surrounding its use and ultimate disappearance. Speculation continues regarding the precise mission of U-3523. Historians debate whether it was transporting high-ranking officials, critical intelligence, experimental weapons, or treasures intended to preserve Nazi assets. The deliberate scuttling supports the idea that whatever was aboard was considered too valuable to fall into enemy hands. While concrete evidence of cargo remains elusive, the historical context and operational design of the Type XXI suggest a high-stakes mission that blended strategy, secrecy, and desperation in equal measure. The psychological dimensions of the crew's experience are also significant. Life aboard U-3523 was not merely physically challenging, it was a test of mental endurance. Extended periods of submersion in confined spaces, reliance on instruments for navigation, and the constant awareness of enemy threats created an environment of intense stress. The crew relied on strict routines, mutual trust, and disciplined procedures to maintain operational effectiveness. Every man aboard understood the weight of their mission and the consequences of failure, yet they persevered with professionalism and commitment. The discovery of U-3523 also reinvigorated interest in late-war German naval strategy. The Kriegsmarine's reliance on advanced submarines reflected both desperation and ingenuity. By 1945, conventional tactics were failing, and the Type XXI represented a technological gamble, a vessel capable of sustained underwater operation and rapid offensive action. U-3523, as one of the last commissioned submarines of this class, exemplified the final attempts by Germany to assert strategic influence despite overwhelming odds. Modern researchers approached the wreck with meticulous care, documenting every aspect to preserve historical integrity. The submarine's artifacts, structure, and placement were recorded using advanced sonar, photogrammetry, and remotely operated vehicles. These efforts ensured that U-3523 could be studied in detail without disturbing its final resting place, balancing public curiosity with the responsibilities of historical preservation. Each panel, hatch, and personal item contributes to a deeper understanding of the vessel, its crew, and the broader context of naval warfare during the closing months of World War II. The narrative of U-3523 extends beyond technology and archaeology. It is a human story of courage, resilience, and mystery. The men aboard the submarine faced unimaginable pressures, operating under extreme isolation and constant danger. Their experiences, though largely unrecorded, are preserved in the traces they left behind. From the careful arrangement of equipment to personal belongings that hint at daily routines and relationships, the wreck provides a rare and intimate glimpse into the lives of those who served on one of the most advanced submarines of the era. U-3523 also illustrates the enduring allure of historical mysteries. For more than 70 years, its disappearance inspired speculation, research, and imagination. The discovery of the wreck transformed it from legend into tangible history, offering answers while simultaneously prompting new questions. Historians, engineers, and enthusiasts continue to explore its significance, debating the implications of its mission, technology, and ultimate fate. Each discovery within the wreck adds nuance to our understanding of the final chapter of Germany's naval operations. As the study of U-3523 continues, it serves as a reminder that history is often hidden, waiting for the right combination of technology, curiosity, and perseverance to bring it back into the light. The submarine's journey, from commissioning to disappearance, and finally to rediscovery, connects past and present, illustrating the intersection of innovation, human endurance, and the passage of time. Its story captivates not only because of its mystery but also because it embodies the complexity of human decisions during the extremities of war. In the end, U-3523 stands as a symbol of vanished histories resurfaced. Its discovery provides both technical insights and a profound human narrative. From the brilliance of its engineering to the resilience of its crew, the submarine embodies the final, desperate efforts of a nation at war. It is a story of disappearance and rediscovery, of innovation and courage, and of the enduring mysteries that lie beneath the ocean waves. As researchers continue to explore, U-3523 will remain a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the lasting allure of historical enigmas, ensuring that the men who served aboard it, and the secrets they carried, will not be forgotten.